Okay. Welcome to class. It is March the 25th, day 26 of our experience together, and we've been online for 5 days. So, our first thing, I kind of screwed up on the WebEx things. I didn't realize we could do WebEx. We could not use WebEx for office hours. That has to be used specifically for classes. So we'll be doing WebEx for class, and we will be doing, Discord. Discord for office hours. And then I'll send you guys the link to my Discord, and any of you guys can log into it, and we can chat. It's a voice chat system. It's very easy. It's really stable. I've been using it for years. Lots of gamers use it, and social media groups or just clubs. It's really cool. It's really stable. Millions of people use it, which makes it better than WebEx. A friend of mine doesn't use WebEx either, but he's not teaching at FAU. He's teaching at Texas Tech. He teaches philosophy, so it's like an ethics and values course for first-year students at Texas Tech. And what he teaches in that class is basic, just basic philosophy. But because WebEx is so bad for his institution, they use Canvas and WebEx just like we do. His problem is he lives in married student housing, and the Wi-Fi there is absolutely horrific, and so WebEx doesn't work for him. So he uses World of Warcraft. He had everybody set up World of Warcraft accounts, free accounts, except for those who had paid accounts, and then they set up a class guild, and so everybody in that class meets online for online chat, and then he does videos like this. So kind of funky, but we're not going to do that. So class sessions, WebEx, and then for office hours, we're going to use Discord, and I'll be available for WebEx today, but not on Friday, and I won't be available on Monday for WebEx, but I will be available for Discord and next week on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and regular class time during on WebEx on Wednesday and Friday. And so, but there'll be videos posted just like before, and I think you guys should be fine. And on Fridays and Mondays, I won't be available during the day, but I will be available to respond to emails in the evenings. Okay. So a small mistake I made. It's a tiny one. Gosh, 2 mistakes. It's just on how these videos are working. So in these videos, I have been, posting the little box thing over to the side. And that's all well and good. The only problem with that is if you're using a cell phone, it's hard to read what's happening on the screen. So I don't feel too bad. I'm not going to redo all those videos, but I'm going to make changes to how things work now. And then, especially on really important screens, I do want you to read, but keep in mind, if you have questions about you can always look at the slideshow that's going to be uploaded to Canvas. All right, so got that taken care of. So, a little chastisement. A few of you have been pretty rude in your emails. It's more than one of you. And I don't know, and also with some of your expectations. We're going to go over that. When you email me, you need to realize I am neither your mother, your father, your bosom buddy, your BFF, or your high school teacher. When you email me, you need to be respectful. 90% of you guys are pretty freaking awesome. I really am very happy with how email has been going, but a couple of you, 3, are acting like complete and utter tools. It has to discontinue. So, I want to take a moment to show you how to properly, I'm being authoritative with my handy-dandy Nerf axe. This is great for the office environment. Everybody else has the Nerf gun. I have the Nerf axe where I can take action. Chase people around the office with some real authority. I want to show you how to format an email to a teacher or a professor, or when you get to the professional world, how you email your superiors. So, dear Dr. Jones, I was writing to ask you a question I don't recall being discussed in class. I did check with a couple of other folks, and they couldn't find it in their notes, and I did not find it on Canvas or the syllabus. My question is regarding our upcoming guest lecture with Walt Kelly. When Mr. Kelly opens up for Q&A, can we simply raise our hands with our question, or should we submit our questions before his session begins? Thank you for your assistance. Warmly, Aaron. Okay, that's how you do it. And then, if you already have a first-name basis relationship with your teacher, then you could start off differently. You could say, "Hi, Bob," and then everything else is exactly the same. There's a reason. You're the student. You have to, that's just where it is. I hate to pull the hierarchy of needs things, but my goodness sakes, you are the student. There is a teacher. You have to show respect. Now, like I said, 90% of you guys have been totally cool and respectful. However, some of my fellow GTAs get treated like complete garbage by their students who don't show any respect. And so, of course, some of their students are confused about why they never get responses to emails. And that's because some of those GTAs don't look at the emails from the students who are rude. They just delete them. They don't even read them. I am sure that is not the relationship you guys want. And like I said, 90% of you guys are great. Just some of you who've been complete asshats. All right, so before you email, research. Before you send an email to a professor, if you think embarrassing yourself is a bad thing, keep in mind, not everybody minds embarrassing themselves. I used to surf and skateboard, which meant I fell a lot and got hit in the head. And so embarrassing myself wasn't a big deal. But if you think being embarrassed is a bad thing, always do a bit of research. Check your notes. Check your friends in class. Look on Canvas or in the syllabus. And if you are in this class, look at the home page on Canvas or in Files. After doing that, then send your email. Always be prepared. Normally, I don't mind repeating myself, and there is no way you're going to know if someone has already asked your question when you are communicating through email. That is why you should always be nice. You don't know if I've been asked that same question 10,000 times. I don't mind the repeats. That's not a problem. What I don't want is people being rude to me. And I'm sorry. One of the problems with email, I'm going to tell you, there's research on this, okay? When people are actually reading emails and reading digital texts, they don't think it's neutral, okay? They always read email as if it's a little negative, okay? Same thing with the text, quite often with Facebook, too. So that's why people use emoticons to try to say, nope, we're all good. To try to put a little positive spin or show, oh, I was just joking, sarcasm. See, that's why I have the Nerf axe, to show you guys. It's a little chastisement, but I'm not really angry. I just want people to learn something. This is an English class. It's a good place to learn how to send emails appropriately. Okay, so like I said, 90% of you are great, and I really do try to be patient. Always remember, some of your current and future teachers, TAs, and professors are not going to be patient. Some of them are going to be complete assholes. Just like you want to be treated with respect, you need to be respectful first. You are the student after all. All right, enough of that crap. I'm a student too. But when I email my professors, even if it's a professor I have a great working relationship with, I always try to be really professor. Even my ex-professors, the guys who aren't even a part of that school anymore. When I email them or I talk to them, I am super respectful. They are important to me and to my career, so I always try to be super respectful. All right, back to business. Formatting a table. Now, I did show you guys how to do this in class, but I went really fast. And so I know that some of you guys forgot or didn't take very good notes. No problem. These things happen. Learn how to take notes, though. One of the best things you can do is look up a short tutorial on how to set up a table in YouTube. There are several there. YouTube pretty much covers everything in existence. It's also why we know some urban myths are urban myths, like cow tipping. It's not a thing. We know it's not a thing. Do you know why we know it's not a thing? Rednecks are morons. I'm a redneck, I know this, and so if I were going to go cow tipping, I would want it on my cell phone. Search email, search that Facebook, YouTubes. I don't think you're going to find cow tipping or snipe hunting or any of that crap there. It's going to be gone. Besides, this is one of those things you were supposed to learn before college. You know, this is like how you're supposed to already know how to use grammar correctly and strategically, how to write a paragraph, and how to format a document according to MLA standards. Those are things you're supposed to know before you get here. It's okay, you don't. I get it. That's fine. That's why we're going to go over it now. And so just for the next 6 or so minutes, I'm going to show a real quick video I made earlier today on how to format a table. It is really boring, but here it is. The name of the file. Oh, here we go. So now I'm doing my name. And of course I skip a step, but this is Dr. McKay's space, select everything, and then I go up and fix the spacing, fix the font, and also the font size. Then I go up and insert page numbers. This is something I was supposed to do right after I put my name in. And then, this crap, always put, your last name. Then you have to do the font over here. Make sure you always switch it to 12 point as well. Then you come back in here and you start typing in the rest of everything you need in the name field of MLA. And then, of course, I'm just going to put in, at home table example as the example for, as the assignment name. And then the date, which is the 23rd. And of course, you do this with all your documents, first thing you do. And then you put the title, double entry journal. And let's see if I do it, see if I screw something up. Nope, I got it all in there. Go down, and then I do make a mistake, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I insert the table, and we go down and we pick a bunch of cells. And it's going to take more than 20 cells, but that's okay. Then merge, so right click, scroll down to where it says merge cells, click merge. And then same thing here, merge, right click merge cells, and right click merge cells. And we're going to keep going through. We're going to make 6 of these spaces all the way down. Okay, so here's the last one that makes 6. So we're going to keep going through. And then we have this last one. Oh boy, what do we do? This is a common mistake people do. So they come back up to table, and then they go insert table. And they go and put in a whole bunch, 20, and then blam, it puts a table in a table. You don't want that. And so you try to come over, get it to right click or select the whole cell row, but it won't. So you come over here, right click on it, and insert row below. There you go, and then you just start putting in more. So you kind of a pain right here, but that's just the way it is. And you just put in a whole bunch. And that gives you enough, for whatever we're doing. And then go back to creating the spaces. And in this one, we're going to do 3 spaces. Now, you can do more per researched item. This is for the research texts. You don't have to do 3, 2, and 1, but I'm just doing it as an example. And so here we go. So we're creating a few more little spaces. The key is merge cells. When you're doing this in Microsoft Word, you'll be able to find the option for merge cells also. So there we go. That's a minimum of 12 right there. So you go back up to the top, and don't do this in your own. I'm just telling you what goes here. So instead of you typing in primary text, that's where you put your MLA, your works cited entry. And then there's something weird going on with Google Docs right here, and I don't know what it is, but I'll figure it out later. Anyway, it's okay. And then in here, just research text. Remember, don't type in research text. I don't want that. What I want is your MLA entry. I'm just putting it here so you'll know. So there's the one. Of course, I forget to put the number in there. It's okay. I'll fix that in a minute. I'm going to keep going down and adding different things. Now, the point of setting it up like that is this is just purely for data entry purposes. This is how you're going to manage this very small database. And for this small of a paper, this is fine. As I mentioned before, when you start getting into bigger research items, you'll want to switch to Google Sheets or to Excel. And I know last time I mentioned the problem with Excel, but it's okay. I think this is where I noticed, oh wait, I made a mistake. And so I come over here and I fix my mistake before I go further. So which is to center this. Okay. And then I'm like, oh, wait a second, I better double check to make sure my spacing is 100% correct. And so, because when you're in the table, you don't have to double space in the table. So you can single space it. And because look what happens, how much space gets inserted when you just go 1.15. So yeah, single space is fine. And then I'm just going to label what each cell does. This is for your quote. Please don't put this in there. Just put your quote. This is where the context goes. Just, type in your context. And then right here is analysis. And then right here are the keywords. Okay. Okay. And just as a repeat, this is what is in each table cell. Got the MLA bibliographic information, quote within text citation, the quote's context, the quote's analysis, and keywords. That's what's in each one. So it's setting up a table is easy. It's fast. Did you see how I set that whole thing up? Top to bottom. I even made mistakes in there, was double checking things. I did the whole thing in 6.5 minutes. That's just the setup. So setting it up is really easy. You won't struggle. So next subject. This is regarding research. This is a slide I showed you guys before. I don't want to read everything in here, but I do want to remind you, look at the underlined section. Right here it says, in my paper, I will show how Faulkner weaved his way through crazy awesome prose to expose sins of the white South depicted in Faulkner's novel Light in August without being didactic. So this is what's called a working thesis. When I actually put it in the paper, this thesis will be different. Not much different, a little bit. And so what the working thesis does is that it helps guide your research. So always have a thesis going into things. You can change the thesis, but have a working thesis. The second part that makes good research is have a keyword. So the keyword here is sin. And I only have to have one keyword. Now, when you guys are doing this, I think you're going to have 1, 2, or 3 keywords. 2 or 3. One is your own keyword, but another part of the keyword you're going to want is something from the original prompt. So look at the prompt, see if it's pathos, or libertarianism, or American identity, or maybe a combination of all 3. Be aware of those, and then also be aware of your own keyword and personal emphasis that you're trying to make with that paper. Okay? All right. Very good. Now, here's some policy change reminders. I'm not taking attendance. It's not possible to. I will only be using your participation in the surveys and discussions to show you are still participating in class. So the reason I am showing this is because some of you guys are not doing all the participation. Do the participation. I will not be counting assignments late, but I will be giving points for being on time or early. So those of you who screwed up on your double entry journals and didn't format them correctly, go in there, fix it, make it good and pretty. I'll be fine. Do a good job. Learn how to do this. And but when we get into the next module, I will be going back to counting things late. So there's the thing about WebEx again. We will not be doing peer reviews, but I think we're going to do, those of you who want to do peer reviews, we're going to do it for extra credit. I just killed off Launchpad, it's gone, and I am getting rid of assignments that do not directly deal with your essays, which we did. And if you still see some of the old assignments in there for like peer reviews and stuff, don't worry about it, we're not doing it. And then all discussions and surveys will expire, and I will not score them after the expiration date, so get them done in the time frame I give you. So like if you have a survey, which you do, and a discussion to do, which you do, then do it. Get them done today. That way you don't have to fool around with it and worry about it. That is essentially what the attendance is. All right, so just a review of the chastisement regarding questions. When I have a question for one of my professors, I am very careful. I am very careful. I think very carefully about my question. If my question is about formatting, documents, methods, and navigation, I never, ever ask those questions. I look up the answer on Google. I do. Or I go to the library. Okay? Asking a question to a professor can be very dangerous. Sometimes the questions are good to have, but there's a lot of knowledge you are already expected to have before you walk into certain classes. And for this class in particular, knowing how to set up tables, knowing how to set up a document according to MLA, knowing how to write a paragraph, and knowing how to use grammar, those were things you were supposed to know before you got here. Actually, knowing how to write a good thesis statement. I'm going to do a video on thesis statements. Some of you guys struggle with those. And then knowing how to do good research. You guys don't know that, that's fine. Actually, research takes a long time to learn. I have a friend who's right now getting her master's degree in library science, and she's like, I didn't know doing research was this difficult. All right, my experience. Last semester I had an assignment that was supposed to be formatted as a conference paper. I had no idea what a conference paper was. No clue. But I didn't want to look like an idiot in front of class. So I was like, okay, conference paper, wrote it down, conference paper. Acted like the good studious student that I was, and then I went and Googled it. And I discovered that a conference paper is simply a 6-part essay that is 18 to 30 pages long. That's it. So that helps. In fact, so a lot of my fellow GTAs, they have no idea what a 6-part essay is, but if you tell them conference paper, they're down. They totally get it. It just has different names than the classical Greek names, but it's the same exact form. The only time I specifically ask a question in class is when I could not find the answer by research. I also try to make sure my question has to do with the subject matter at hand. So in this Faulkner book, the Faulkner class, I don't ask any questions about Faulkner's biography or him as a person. I also don't ask about specifics about the book, because I was supposed to read the stupid thing. What I will do is ask questions about research items that there's no way I'm going to know about. the professor, my professor in Faulkner, he is the #1 scholar in the United States regarding Faulkner, and he knows. So the reason I don't do that is because I don't want to embarrass myself, and that's a good strategy to have as a student. So if you have a question, carefully research it, Google it, YouTube it. Did you know YouTube is the second largest database on the planet, bar none, after Google? And guess what? Google owns YouTube. Do you know what the second largest database is? Amazon. The third largest is Walmart. So when I'm researching things for finding answers, I do look at Amazon. You bet. Especially if it's a book or something like that. I'll look it up on Amazon, and then I'll also check out the reviews. And some of those reviews are very handy. Some of them are garbage. But anyway, so now those of you who are asking how to format a double entry journal or the anabibliographies, no problem. I don't mind answering those. I can see the problem. But I did, upload a lot of the stuff in files, and so some of you just didn't look. All right, and that's it. I'm not really angry at you guys. I'm not. But some of you guys have serious respect issues. Learn how to be respectful. I'm not too worried about it. But some of my peers, some of my friends who are GTAs, they get abused. And not by you guys, of course, but by their own students who are your age, who are your peers. And then later on, you're going to be in a class with a professor who's got their PhD and who's got tenure, and if you ask them a rude question, they will light your ass up in front of the whole class and embarrass you. I guarantee it. All right. So, keep that in mind. You guys have fun. I appreciate everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.